Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. As I've spoken about before, a lot of the work I do is with seniors who are transitioning into senior living, but how do they know which community is best for them? Well, there are people who will do that, and there's someone here with me today who's very good at it. Her name is Sherri Singleton, and she is with Live Well Senior Care Connections. Sherri, thank you so much for coming today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you, Bryan, for inviting me.
Good. I'm glad you're here. I want you to talk about what you do. You have a lot of different unique aspects of what you do. So tell us first why you got into the world of senior care.
Well, I got into this world after many, many years in hospitality, and I enjoyed traveling and seeing the world and staying in luxury hotels. But after a period of time, first of all, I felt like something was missing and it wasn't my calling, if you will. And then 12 years ago, with incidences that happened with my mother, both physically, emotionally, after my stepfather passed away, trying to get her from Atlanta, Georgia to Phoenix, Arizona, where I was living. It was, and then I was opening a hotel. Talk about overwhelming, and I had no idea where to turn. I will tell you, I did Google what to do and where to try to find it. That's what people do, and ended up reaching out to an online sort of referral aggregator, I call them, and it did not go well at all. I was bombarded with 30 plus phone calls at a time when I just did not need that extra stress. And then they also provided a long list after sending my name out to 30 plus communities, and half of them weren't within the budget or even within the geographical area that I had wanted my mother to live in. So yeah, needless to say, it was not pleasant. And I was thinking back then, again, 12 years ago, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be. So I accepted a job here in California and then wanted to move my mother here. Luckily, by that time, I decided to follow my passion and work with seniors. And I started actually, I'd gotten into the senior living community world, worked for a couple of different communities within some, kind of upscale, not so upscale, got that experience, and then said, I want to be able to refer to the right community. One size does not fit all, and I want to have that opportunity to help them narrow the field down and take them to the different communities that we feel are best, that fits their needs best.
That's
so
great.
I just love it. I love it so much.
Good. So one of the things I like about your background, so to speak, is you've kind of touched on sort of almost all aspects. You've worked in the community before. You help people with placement, so you understand that side. You have been and are the adult child. So you have the full 360 view of what this role entails, which is helping seniors and their families find the right community for them. And you are also a CSA, which is what, and tell me why that matters.
Well, thank you. And once I got into the industry within the community side as marketing director, I was also interim executive director for a period of time, activities director.
Wow.
Some of these smaller ones, you do everything and wear many hats. But the CSA, Certified Senior Advisor, is a credential that I knew that I needed because it really brought me sort of more well-rounded with a deeper understanding of issues that seniors face. You know, Bryan, we all are getting older, and we will all be there at one point of a certain age. And so I wanted to understand the issues that are constantly changing, but it gave me a really wide breadth of information that I can use to help my clients. And there's rigorous exams, continuing education. So I definitely wanted to have that under my belt. And then also I did become a member of NPRA, which is the National Placement and Referral Alliance. And that just, because our industry is not that regulated like real estate is.
Right.
So we have to regulate ourselves, but this organization was created to help us make sure that our ethical standards are as high as possible. We're always, the client is always our focus, and doing the right thing and helping them in the right way. Most of us did not get into this industry just for the money. We got into it because it truly, it's in our heart.
Right.
And so, any designation or any program, I want to make sure that if it's regulated and it's going to help me learn more, then I want to absolutely look into it. But those are important ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so you meet with families, you meet with loved ones, and you help them kind of go over their budget, figure out which communities are going to be geographically where they want, just like what you did with your mom, or try to do with your mom, and help them find the right community. I kind of compare it sometimes to a real estate agent who's helping a buyer find the right home, but your clients don't have to pay for the service.
I know, and I love that about this industry. So yeah, the communities that we partner with, they do compensate us, but only when we provide our clients, again, narrowing it down to the best fit. I personally, and not all placement agencies do this, but I do. I'll drive them to, after setting up the tours for them, and that is the best part. Well, it's one of the best parts is that there is no cost for the clients, and I am their personal, well, again, driver sometimes, but they're a consultant, they're concierge, they're guide, if you will, and not just once they move into the community, but throughout, because even though we would love for that move to be the last one, sometimes, again, with I relate a lot to my mother because the last, especially 2.5 years, it has been a roller coaster. And she, by the way, we found at this point she was on hospice. She's not now, she's fine. But we needed a residential care home, which is the smaller homes, some of these boarding care, but I prefer residential care homes. Then she became so much better physically, mentally. She's very social. So then we needed to find her another community that provided activities and she could make friends. And so, sometimes, it'll be one move and then I will be there if things don't work out or their health changes. We will look at additional communities. So I'm with the clients as much as they want me to be, as long as they want me to be.
That's great. Now, some people think, okay, well, I'll just have mom move in with me, whether it's in the home or maybe they build an ADU or something like that. You and I kind of talked about why that may not necessarily be the best option.
Well, that was definitely not the option for me. I love my mother, but
there's a line.
There's a line, right? And I knew in order for us to maintain our friendship and our relationship as it was, that was not a good idea. Also, again, I have a full-time job, and I know she is a social person, so I wanted her to be in that type of environment. But that is usually the first line of defense, if you will, and families have their loved one move in, their mom or dad, sometimes in the same house. Sometimes it does work out for a period of time, but then the more care they need, it changes the relationship a great deal and the dynamic, and you stop being that daughter, son, and once you're just a caregiver, it is never, ever healthy for the relationship. So sometimes people say, well, I'm going to put an ADU, build a little ADU in my backyard. Okay, so then your loved one, mom or dad, or, is in the ADU, and I'm not going to say they forget about them,
right. Yeah, 2 weeks later, where's mom?
Yeah, where's mom? But what happens is they're isolated.
Yeah.
They're isolated, and I always say this. The Surgeon General has, 2 years ago said that loneliness and isolation is an epidemic. Not just with seniors, unfortunately, but boy, does it affect seniors more than other age groups. So if, mom is in the ADU, maybe comes in for meals, that is so detrimental to their physical and cognitive health. They say it's like smoking
2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Exactly. I do workshops at senior centers and seminars, and I talk about brain health and aging and, keeping your body strong. And most of the time when seniors say that they live by themselves and all they maybe see is the Amazon driver once a day and they watch TV all day, they're going to experience really, really steep declines, much more so than if they were in a community that was offering activities and socialization and lifelong learning opportunities. And by the way, making healthy meals for them. So again, I'm in this industry because I want to spread the word that senior living communities are not nursing homes. I give a workshop called the myth, if I can say it, myths and misconceptions of today's senior living. And one of the biggest reasons 90% of people want to stay in their home as long as they can, and that's the fact, is because they still think that senior living communities are like nursing homes.
Right.
Well, COVID didn't help because the media only really showed
Right.
nursing homes, and we
Right.
call them SNFs or skilled nursing. So that didn't help at all. And you know, I know that they are used to their house. They've been in 20 or 30 or 40 plus years with all their stuff around.
Right.
But what I find is when we help them, and I have partners who help me do this, discover what those items are in their house that really mean a lot and what they want to take with them. If they move into a senior living community, they can even recreate the area in their home that they spend the most time in. And as
Right.
I'm sure you know, a lot of people that are in 3,000 square foot homes, they're only using not even 500 square feet.
Exactly right.
And so, you know, it's just awareness and it's education and taking them to see these communities that are so amazing, and they've gotten away from just kind of that healthcare medical model, and it's wellness and socialization. And I opened a community, gosh, when was it now? 2.5 years ago. Crazy.
Time flies.
I know it does. Basically, it was like a 5-star resort, so I certainly felt in my element in hospitality. But, you know, wine tasting, art classes, music, outings to the, you know, playhouses and the beach. They're, by the way, culinary.
Yeah.
They're focusing a huge extent on getting chefs, real chefs.
Right.
And I love your show, The Taste
of Senior Living.
Taste of Senior Living. But it's so true. I mean, they've come a long, long way just in 20 years.
Yeah.
And so obviously my goal is to spread that word and let them know that there are so many options out there. Just in San Diego County alone, there are hundreds. They're building them every
they're
day.
building more and more because the aging population, and it's needed.
Exactly. And you know, some people don't like silver tsunami, but that phrase, it is the fact. 10,000 people a day are turning 65.
Right.
The number of people over 85 by the year 2040, so in 15 years, is going to have doubled.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, senior living communities, they're like, okay,
Right.
let's start building these, and they're purpose built, so they're just perfect. For that, to me, is aging in place.
Right.
If you can move into one of these amazing communities and, you know, go in completely independent and just experience a hassle-free life.
Right.
One monthly bill.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, it is.
I'm ready now.
I know.
No cooking,
well,
no
especially,
cleaning.
right. I mean, there's some communities absolutely I would move into.
Yeah.
Well, and I could because I'm of a certain age. But anyway, I do feel like, you know, just spreading that word and letting everyone know that the options are out there.
Right.
But it can be overwhelming because there are a lot of them, and
Right.
that's where
you come
someone like
in,
me comes
and
in.
the expert can
Yeah.
come in and really help guide people to the right place. Sherri's information is on screen, so you can see her name, her company name, her phone number, and her website. Learn more about what she does and how she helps families, and then give her a call. It's a free service, so there's no obligation, no reason not to talk to her and find out how she can really help make that transition easier. Sherri, thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you so much. I sure appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks.